Wow, arc to arc. Michi wins again.
Is that your catchphrase?
That's my catchphrase. You know it is.
Okay. Well, Michi Sarada's. Okay, yeah, arc to arc.
Wait, where's your catchphrase?
Yeah, what? What? No.
You have to say yours.
Lies. Lies and slander.
Yours is, not doing so good. Yeah.
That's like saying the period at the end of the sentence is a catchphrase.
Mm.
Okay, but we are in arc to arc after a lengthy hiatus.
What?
There was no hiatus. Grandpa needs to take his medicine, so let me just say
feels like one.
We have 2 new mangas. We have Land of the Lustrous from Jaws, and we have Spirit Circle from Green. We
finally got rid of those worthless pieces of garbage
stupid,
that we were
terrible manga we were reading.
That one that we read for 1 week, and then the other that we read for like
a year.
like 4 weeks. Yeah. But so we're doing Land of the Lustrous first.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Man, there's gems and such. It's
things.
This is a crazy.
Airplane.
This is probably one of the most unique manga to ever grace the pages of paper.
Yeah, it must be really expensive to print all this, given that it's more frequently white on black instead of black on white.
George had saved $500 in his ink budget.
He didn't put Revenge of the Jedi. That's it.
That's actually a weird thought, because black ink is more expensive in print, but in digital form, it's actually slightly cheaper.
Well, it's the same price.
Well, because you save a small amount of electricity because you don't have to light up the pixel.
The pixel is still lit up on a digital monitor. That's not true at all.
It's less. No, it's definitely less.
But it's not.
You hook it up to a black diode to emit black light.
If you have
a green pixel,
Green, you're saying that as a so you think if I Google like full black screen, you think that's the equivalent of my screen being turned off? Do you? Like if I open this in a tab, does this mean my pixels are turned off because I see light coming off of it?
No. The backlight will still be going in some form, but it's going to be using less electricity than if it was.
Yes, but it's not.
But whatever. We're not here to discuss.
My point is that
physics.
it's not turned off. That's not true. Like a pixel being turned off is not black. It just uses less light than the other ones. Yeah.
Okay, back to
Okay, physics Michi strikes again. Let's.
You've never. Everyone knows if you're in a room in the dark and your computer goes to a black screen, it doesn't turn the room into darkness, does it?
No. But
Land of the Lubes, Land of the Luscious.
A lot of stark blacks and whites. I gotta say, I do appreciate the art style. I also find it a little exhausting, and it can just be a lot at times.
Yeah, it's not really. I was gonna get into that, where it's like I really like it, but it's not entirely like my thing. And it's also like, no, I think it's really cool, but it also has like, it's not like one of my favorite art styles or anything. It has a few things against it. One is I just don't like how she does faces very much. I think that's definitely the weakest part of the art style, is just she does very like simplistic kind of like same faces for everyone, and also in their profiles she kind of gives them like a weird chin and nose sometimes. I'm getting into that because I think the anime actually the faces look much better. Like I think Fossa is a lot cuter. Like I like the look of the people in the anime more. I think the bodies are more like well drawn, and I think the faces are much more appealing.
Yeah, the elephant in the room here is the adaptation.
Yeah.
It's weird it hurts to be mean to the manga because the manga is so unique and had so much effort put into it. I do just like the look of the show more.
Yeah,
and it's just less hard on the eyes.
Too.
Also, it's kind of bizarre that the whole thing with the characters is they're differentiated by color.
Exactly.
That's like the whole point.
That was
or
my
some
first
shit.
thought immediately. Was like,
But
if you're
then it's in
telling a
black and
story,
white.
exactly, a story that is so contingent on having all these wonderful colors and they look great on the covers, it's kind of a letdown to read the manga because you don't get to see any of the colors. You're like, when you it's so stark black and white. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, it's just like it's like a very unique, very interesting art style. It's just not my like thing. Like I'm into like lots of like cross hatching detail, and I'm into like I like stuff the more like anatomically impressive the better. Like I like little eyes for detail and things like that. This is very like, I don't know, almost like kind of like religious arts in a weird way. And
The one you're looking at right there, where the head is cut open.
Yeah, it's like a flower.
I actually fixated on this these pair of drawings because showing the splash while the attention goes to the gems coming out of the I just thought this was a very elegant display of motion, and the mangaka has good instincts for showing timing and stuff.
Composition and like framing stuff. And I mean, it might become better and better as the thing goes on too. This is only the first stretch, so who knows? But
yeah, but I do find it a little weird at times.
Yeah,
where sometimes sometimes the mangaka just makes baffling decisions with not showing a lot of clarity of motion or not having enough in between images to show what's going on. And also, it's just hard to tell who's who at times.
Yes, those were my two takeaways. Were like it can be sometimes hard to distinguish characters. Like Cinnabar can sometimes look like she just kind of looks like other characters with slightly longer or shorter hair. And sometimes during especially action sequences, it can be a bit like cluttered and confusing, telling exactly what's going on. Whereas sometimes you get a panel where it's like you have like sometimes you have like Mercury's like Mercury from Cinnabar and like arrows from the Lunarians and like grass and clouds and splashes and broken bits of gem everywhere, all in the same frame. And sometimes it can take a bit to parse like where the people even are in a frame sometimes.
Yeah, you earlier said it reminds you of like religious imagery in terms of the art style. I think that's like enhanced by the lack of things like speed lines, where everything here looks extremely static, but in a really cool way.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I appreciate that because I've never been a big fan of like of anything extra. Like I don't use speed lines or much like that unless I really have to, and I'm not a big fan of like sound effects, like katakana like covering the page and stuff. I've come around to it because I've seen some manga where it's used more like artistically, where it kind of like takes on its own.
Yeah, Bleach does it.
Yeah, there's some cool ways to do it, but I'm not a big fan of just like having like text all over my nice drawing when it's not necessary. Because I never really feel the need to read bang when there's an explosion. I can imagine the sound effect.
Yeah, like
when I see one.
Really
like I don't pay attention to the swings and the whatever.
Anything too comic booky is a little
exactly.
Goofy.
So yeah, no, but I don't want to sound like I'm down on it. Like I still love the art style. It's just it has like minor shortcomings, and it's not like it's not exactly my thing. Like it's like really good and impressive, and I love that someone has done it. But like this face kind of shows like it's not like the kind of way.
One aspect of this, and one thing I think the anime does do, helps a lot with. The mangaka can be a little muddled, especially when it comes to showing volumes of spaces. And the setting, where there's a lot of stuff in this where it kind of feels like characters are going over. It's like they're fighting in an infinite plane, or they're traveling over an infinite plane.
Yeah.
In particular, when the Lunarians show up and they're in a big V formation and they're shooting arrows and stuff, it can be very hard to tell how close they're supposed to be, because it can feel like they're a couple dozen feet away. It can feel like they're a mile away. It's not totally clear. I think the anime was a little better at the scale and, having consistent environments. You can tell, oh, okay, they're floating they're in the distance, but they can see them.
Yeah, I think the religious iconography is a good like comparison, because it's almost like a very in old medieval stuff and illuminated scriptures and Bibles, they always have like the characters kind of being like they're almost always like angled front way, like on the same plane as the viewer, so you always see them kind of like standing, even if their body position can be in a different position, but they're always standing from that angle. And she always kind of does that with characters too, like she'll have different angles for the backgrounds and environment, and it's almost like she's more of like a designer, but then her story also has people in it too, so she kind of like places them almost kind of like stickers around, like there's never like a top down angle of someone or like a fisheye perspective or anything like that when it comes to the people, like a zoom in shot where you see their hand really big or anything. They're almost kind of just like standing around and seen from almost like you're rotating around them 180 degrees, but they're usually standing around like this kind of which is just it's a stylistic thing. I mean, it's taste. It's just I'm not saying anything against it skill wise. I'm just saying points where it can be hard to read and points where it doesn't appeal to me as much.
In a way it almost makes more sense for the cadence of like a 4 coma.
Yeah,
where it's just stuff happening, but you don't really need to have a solid idea of where it is at any given moment.
It reminds me a bit of like in Look Back, what the other girl's drawings are like, where she draws like these very stark black and white backgrounds ever, and it's not really. It is a comic what she is doing, but it's almost like a collection of illustrations, kind of in a way. But anyway, what about the cool stuff? I like it's a very cool setting and world.
Yeah, I've said this at times before that to me, Land of the Lustrous has the most unique premise. We haven't gotten there fully, but we've gotten the start of it.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I read this. But I'm trying to remember like what was the stuff it was reminding me of, and it was like very lightly, but there was like
it should remind you a little bit of To Your Eternity.
But I think what it was like it reminded me of something else where it's also like
God damn it, Michi, I just laughed when Josh said that, but I turned my thing off. I just wanted you to know.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to think of like what is something else where it's also like a group of like beings that are like the last survivors on Earth, and they have like this ulterior force is always coming to attack on like a regular basis. Yeah, like you're saying, it is kind of like To Your Eternity, but there was definitely something else that I'll remember in 15 minutes and shout into the microphone.
Okay.
Damn it, just ignore me. But yeah, this
Always
is a cool idea of like I do appreciate that there is like some given explanation to it. Like I would be fine with just being like, there's gem people and there's a priest and Lunarians come, but they actually go out of their way to explain how it's like microscopic like little life forms that have inhabited.
Yeah, there's fucking midichlorians in this.
Yeah, there's midichlorians that live inside the gems, and that's why they can be like conscious and move. But they still retain all the properties of their mineral is a very cool idea. And then they also go far enough to explain like kind of the origins of the Lunarians and of the... What are the third ones called? The what?
Admirabilis.
Oh, Admirabilis. That's it. Yeah,
Gesundheit.
Like, I don't remember the names of the two thingies, but I did remember the name of the race, the species.
Yeah, she's called something with like a V, like
something
ventriculus
or something.
Yeah, ventriculus.
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, and I say she. Speaking of she's and he's, who is who?
I don't have it.
I watched the anime up to where I had read for a side by side on the same day, and I went out of my way to, because the first subtitles I had kept calling everyone he, and I was very annoyed. So I went out of my way to find a different download where they said them.
I remember when this was airing and everyone complained about that.
The thing with me is I would be happy with she. Actually, I don't mind because everyone looks female to me. Sorry if that's crazy, but
that's how they're drawn.
Exactly. They look. There's that girl takes her shirt off, and she definitely has like a chest. Remember when she's like gonna try out when she's gonna put a coating on herself to go into the water. Like she takes her top off and she just has obviously a hourglass silhouette. Especially in the anime, they really dwell on everyone's butts in the anime. That was like my takeaway. Everyone is always sticking out their butts in booty shorts and wiggling them. There's like a part where like someone pets Daya on the head, and she wiggles her ass, and it definitely looks like a girl butt to me, unless they have the flattest testicles of all time. I think the idea is they don't have. They don't have genitals, I'm sure, but they look girly. Yeah. If I was one of them, I would identify as a girl.
I do think the author did kind of need to make up their mind over whether or not they're meant to be sexy.
I mean, in the anime they're much more explicitly sexy. I mean, here they kind of still get up to like shenanigans. The thing is, they can't really touch each other without one of them cracking.
Unless they're like the same hardness or close to it.
Yeah, exactly. They need to be close in hardness. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to know that.
What?
I'm not supposed to know Amethyst can conk their head against each other. But it's a very cool idea for a world, definitely. I mean, it's one of those like, god damn it, I wish I had thought of something that cool ideas. Then it's like, then I do also think she chose an interesting protagonist character too. Like out of all the rocks and gems, could have chosen to go for like kind of an obscure but very attractive looking mineral. It's such an odd one to choose that Wikipedia page for phosphorylite or whatever, phosphorylite is like a blurb, and then a significant section is about Land of the Lustrous. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I didn't know that. But one interesting thing was it said that like phosphorylite is like prized for its color, but is rarely cut into jewels for its brittleness. And I was like, that makes sense. Yeah, because Phos is the weakest. Well, technically she's the second weakest, but she's the shittiest gem to ever gem, and she breaks all the time.
It's funny when Adamant just shouts at the other ones, and it's Phos that also breaks.
Yeah. Just cracks, poor thing. It's a funny. The mechanics. She really put a lot of thought into like the mechanics are very interesting. Of like when someone cracks, they just put them together, like glue them painstakingly, and then they come back. But any part that is lost is like a very minor bit of memory being lost. Because I was like, there's no way they can gather like every little microscopic speck, and they're like, yeah, we can't. So, but if it's just a tiny thing, like if you get scraped for mercury on you don't lose normally that important of a memory. Yeah, but then when she loses her legs, she forgets who Jade is. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. She should have gained memories from her legs. No.
I mean, that be happening?
I don't know. But very cool world building. I dig it a lot. It's very unique, for sure. Green, what do you think about this?
Response to that. Okay, my headphones on. Response to that directly. God damn it! I do think it is girl. Why is my brain
Girls
stupid?
and Panzer.
I do think the world building is good in general. At times I find myself wondering if it's a little too abstract and like a little too fanciful, where one thing I did notice in this early stretch, there's not a whole lot for the characters to do.
Yeah, they just kind of wait for Lunarians to show.
Yeah,
they play cards
not
apparently.
A very active story, especially in like the first half or so.
I did just kind of wonder, are we going to have an issue with the story feeling stagnant because there's just not enough for people to do? I did watch the anime, so I know things heat up a bit. It almost felt more like in Iyashike at times.
The story is almost like about how stagnant it is, kind of. Like, lots of the gems have just been doing the exact same thing for like 2,000 years. And it's like, this is my job and I do it forever.
it focuses more on like the psychological state of the gems and like their connection to their roles or their inabilities to do certain things.
They have interesting relations between them.
In general.
It is funny how the priest, the sensei, whatever, how he like sells Foss outright that he has like he's been trying to like counteract her like ineptitude, like she's just awful at everything. It just says it in front of everyone.
I gotta say, I do not trust that guy. Am I the only one?
Do we think there's something up with him? The guy who Jade apparently she punched him last time to try and wake him up and her arm snapped off. Now, if you're the kind of guy that can get hit with Jade and it breaks instead of your skull, then there's something up with you.
Yeah, and also the weird sea person landed on his head and went, I can't latch on to him like I can with the others.
That's right.
Implying that despite
him being like immortal and
stronger than the others, apparently, it still doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a mineral, and he does weird stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. Also, when he was meditating, it seemed like he was almost like consorting with Lunarians, because he's the Lunarians are very like Buddhist coded in their aesthetics, and he is like a Buddhist priest, a Buddhist monk. And
he also seems to go unconscious when things are happening sometimes. Almost maybe he's remote piloting the enemy.
Maybe he's Anima, and the biscuit hammer is gonna fall. No, because when Anima's asleep, sometimes Samidare was awake, and vice versa. He's definitely up to something. I don't trust him. It's kind of odd that he just like sees fit to give everyone roles, like he's the big major domo. Like, why do they have to do stuff? They can just like lounge around, right?
Why does he exist? Let's start with that.
It's like, what are we protecting the Earth from exactly? And I mean, if what the ruler of the sea says is true, and because like at the beginning of the story, the implication is that they just want to make jewelry out of everyone, but then the water people say they think that they're just like they just can't let go of being human. They're trying to like unite the different facets of what mankind has been split into. So in that case, I think the priest is being bad. Like he should he should just give all the gems willingly, send them to the moon, fish out all the people from the ocean, and we could just be moon people. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me at all if this was one of those stories where at the end it's there is no good guy or bad guy. It's just stuff happening. It also wouldn't be crazy if the Lunarians end up having the better argument in the end.
Yeah, I mean they are the consciousness supposedly. I did call that it was like a Earth post-apocalypse before the whole human thing came up. I mean, it wasn't that hard to tell. Another interesting aspect, I do like how the Lunarians, like, I like their, like, evolving tactics is, like, an interesting aspect, where they like, one interesting one is that they use, I thought that was really clever, how they turned a previous person they caught into arrows, because that's a really clever thing with hardness when you think about it. Like, if they have shitty arrows that just don't penetrate the gems, making one of the gem people into arrows that actually could hurt the other ones is really cool, and getting a snail that can eat minerals, which is a real life thing, and then dropping it into the midst of the other gems is also really cool. And then they use like subterfuge, like it's creepy. They just show up and they're all smiley and heavenly, and then they do all these underhanded gross tactics. It's weird. Yeah. What a weird world. What else? Oh yeah, we meet Cinnabar. She's Sasuke.
Hey, I'm Sasuke.
Well, she's just very emo. She's like, everything I touch dies. Boo hoo. Get over it, nerd. I mean, I do enjoy how she's kind of like staunch in her thing. Like even after I kept thinking we were gonna have like the moment where she is like, okay, fine, let's be friends. But even to the very end, she's like, no, you're stupid, and I hate you, and I wish you'd die. Even though we know that's not the case.
Tsundere.
Yeah, she's being like the hardest tsundere you can be. I like how Dai just like cuts through her bullshit. She's being like, Foster just disappear and vanish, and she's like, did she confess to you? She's like, what? That's a cute moment. Dai is probably one of my favorite characters. It's hard to, I don't know, a lot of them haven't had that much time to shine to make favorites yet, but I didn't even mean that. I mean, yes, I did. I'm so smart. I like her whole shtick of being like the ditzy kind of friendly thing, and she's just like, she is just like lucked out on being like really strong, but there's someone just a bit better than her. I like her little diatribe. She's like, sometimes I wish Bort didn't even exist. Yeah.
It is funny that the team is kind of Bort plus other, where she's so good she just kind of ends up doing
Bort
everything.
Bort is just indestructible, apparently.
Yeah, because the team is
also
comprised of the team is comprised of liabilities, people that can kind of hold their own, but you really don't want to leave them alone, and Bort. Like, that's really it.
The idea is that they try and give people with similar toughnesses together. Maybe I'm just wrong there.
I mean, like, the people that do combat are usually the ones that are the hardest.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of like the combos we've seen. We had like the pink one and her pal, and then yellow kind of talks about how she's had like multiple partners, but they always end up dying, and she's just like the fastest to run off or something. Yeah. Right.
But at the end, Fos starts getting fast.
No, you don't know that. We didn't get to that chapter yet.
What lies?
No, I mean, we did see that in the final chapter.
Didn't the last chapter end with her with the legs with her being left next to Cinnabar? I thought that was the last one.
No, the final chapter was the one where she finally gets the legs to work.
Yeah, I would think it would be funny if the legs were really fast, but it just snapped off her upper body whenever she ran.
I was kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, they just keep going. She's like, God damn it, over here, come back. I mean, I like how Foss is kind of. I noticed that's a funny thing about Jaws' like favorite manga. I'm just making a tenuous connection here, but it is funny how both of them kind of include protagonists who are kind of like wimpy losers, and like traumatic stuff happens to them, and then it like hardens them. No pun intended. But
it's very easy to, like, if you go through the manga, that I like that they all
like. So I'm not crazy good. Yeah. I think that's amusing that like I have seen like later screenshots where she seems more like serious and like darker than her initial, because initially she's very like ditzy and silly and playful, and then I mean she did kind of go through some messed up stuff with the Admirabilis where they like betrayed her, and all this weird stuff, and she lost her fucking legs. Yeah. So maybe she's gonna become jaded. Jade is pretty cute. I don't know who my favorite characters are in terms of personality, but I like her personality too. I like her design a lot. I mean, they're all very cute. I think probably Jade and the Amethyst twins are my favorites aesthetically.
I do think it's funny that they include Cinnabar, because in the East, Cinnabar was actually useful and people cared about it. Where for us, I don't think Cinnabar is one of the core.
Yeah, no. Most of them have
entities.
Most of them have been, I don't know what you call it, but like most of them are like the transparent kind of mineral, where they're like the more classical idea of like a jewel, where it's like a glassy substance. It's funny that she has a couple that are like Cinnabar is just like kind of a solid thing. I think she just liked the idea of like, because Cinnabar does contain mercury and is like,
yes, exactly,
it has like droplets sometimes and is poisonous, so she just wanted like a dangerous stone, which is not the case for rubies and sapphires.
Wow. I did not know that.
Well, I googled every gem when they appeared. My translation to sidestep the he, she, they, them thing almost always, instead of he or she, just said, or them, just said the name of the gem each time. So whenever a new name would pop up, I just Google it and have a look and see, oh, okay, that's what they look like.
Man.
Yeah. The anime helpfully shows the gems, like what they're named after in the like breaks between parts, which is cool. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, how cool would it be if we had an impossibly busty senpai to, guide us through this?
I did learn fun. Yeah, none of them have big boobs. I did learn fun stuff that I didn't realize. Like, I didn't know diamond broke. I thought diamond could just be cut by other diamonds, but then I guess that brings up the question: how would you make a sharp diamond to begin with? I didn't realize it broke so not super easily, but like I didn't know it had a cleavage the same way other rocks had. I thought it could just take like crazy amount of damage. I didn't know it could just be smacked in the right direction and cleaved in twain. So that was cool. Yeah. I like learning stuff about rocks. Yeah. I mean, this is funny that
I completely forgot even about that. You even collect stuff.
I have a little mineral collection, and it's been funny that we've been watching Ruri no Houseki, and this is Houseki no Kuni, and I was like, it's like thing. I can't wait for Pyrite to show up and suck. Yeah.
Yes. One thing I forgot to bring up. When Bort originally shows up in that one fighting scene,
she flies through the air.
Where they show her arriving by just having an abstract kind of curvy triangle thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks really.
I am really intrigued by the author doing stuff like that.
That wasn't clear whether it was like her or it was like supposed to represent like her sword, because her sword is also like black and like that.
I think it's her, but in like an sword. I think it's just an abstraction, because like her hair and her sword all kind of look like
when
that
she does stuff like that.
It reminds me of the Understanding Comics guy, where he talks about like the picture plane.
Yeah.
Well, it just reminds me of that a little bit.
She has a lot of good silhouettes and stuff for sure.
The author has a knack for putting things on the paper that they don't literally represent anything, but they kind of mean something.
Another world building one I noticed was, I was looking at all the swords and I was like, what are the swords made of? They're just like black, and I was like, huh. And then they say obsidian is the weapon maker, and I was like, they could be obsidian. But then for a second I was like, but obsidian is kind of like brittle and shitty. But then I thought, but then I had a third thought. I thought they don't make the swords out of the most durable material. It's because obsidian is really sharp, and it's for slicing stuff. And I was like, cool. And then we see the girl obsidian working on stuff, and I was wondering, does she make obsidian out of her? Where does she make it out of? But then that wouldn't work, because then she would just be less of her and she would keep losing memories. So I still don't know where she gets all the obsidian from. I assume they're obsidian.
You also still don't know where the gems come.
Well, I assume they're just like washed up on the shore. The guy just like picked them up. But I guess maybe you just go down into the mines and find girls that suppose see him with a pickaxe. Okay, girls, I'm gonna get a new one of you. I mean, it's interesting that they show up in like intervals. Like, they're not all the same age. Like Foss is only like 300 years old, and it's unclear whether that means like formation or when they just like gained consciousness. That I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about the fact that they all love Sensei, apparently. I mean, there's no one else to latch on to, really, but still.
Maybe it's like the stork myth or something like that. Sensei tells them, you're just these conscious grains that build up over millennia and wash up on the beach. But then in reality, he's just like deep digging this rock formation over and over and over again.
I just imagine him like showing up with
We're just okay with me saying that? Okay.
It took me, that was so insane that my brain like didn't register it for like 2 seconds, and I was just gonna say something else, and I was like, wait, I just had a mental image of a guy like fucking a fissure in the wall. I was just like, God damn it. Yeah, his dick is like, he shows up to the thing and he's like, my dick is rock hard, he says. I don't know, I just imagine him like showing up with like an unconscious naked gem girl in his arms and like no one asking me any questions. Here, clothe this one. Yeah. Oh, I think I remembered one of the things that it reminds me of right on time. Death Stranding. It was a very it's similar. Well, not that. Well, Green saying the word beach is what unlocked it, but it's also like a post-apocalyptic Earth of very few people, and they just have to wait for attacks of this supernatural creature from the afterlife. Almost, I know these come from the moon, but they're also like it's also like there's like heaven metaphors where it's like a big cloud descending and godly figures, and it's like that's what Death Stranding is. BTs show up all the time and try and destroy what little remains of human knowledge and existence, and they have to fight them off. Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah, there's a few things like that, but this is like definitely one of the cooler ones, and it's actually getting into the mechanics of that where a lot of things don't explain it. Death Stranding does extensively, but you have to go read emails that Kojima wrote. Yeah,
to himself.
Yeah, to himself, and then just they happen to find. I do think what is with the I do another on the priest sensei monk being suspicious. Why does he make them all dress in like school uniform booty shorts? Like I get that maybe that's just the fashion of the one who designs all the outfits, but it's kind of funny that they go along with it. Like if they don't have genitals, there really shouldn't be any reason for them to be concerned about being naked. Like it is funny that the one who takes her shirt off, she's like embarrassed and hides herself, and also it's odd that she has kind of breasts because she has no nipples and she's not a mammal, so why would... It's almost like I imagine the monk carved her in that shape just because he finds that sexy. Like he just wanted a curvaceous shape, so he gave her a bosom. But like having a bosom makes no sense unless you're a lactating life form. So yeah. Yeah, so definitely weird stuff going on there.
I think this is a totally normal situation. You're just reading too much into it.
It's my problem, I know. It's my problem because I want to have sex with all these minerals, unfortunately. But I wish I didn't. What is some other... Man, this is what happens. Like, I try and avoid now not reading everything at the last minute, but then the problem is I read this like a week ago, and now I had so many interesting thoughts at the time.
Yeah, that's always the problem.
Oh yeah, that was cute. Speaking of hot stuff, the sea slug turns into a really cute lady with boobas, and then Foss is being like, "You're like us, but more shameless," or something more vulgar. Yeah, and then she's like, "These are my fun bags. Praise them." Yeah, I mean that is funny because her life form must have sex, right? Like. They're organic. They're so I was like, okay.
Organic sentient creatures around. It reminded me somehow of some of your creations.
Did? Oh.
Yeah.
Such as? Enlighten me.
It just reminded me of
follow-up.
Okay. I thought you had like specifics in mind.
No, just like you earlier drawing the spore creature thingies like that.
Yeah, I like I have a pen. I do enjoy like just like humanoid interpretations of like animals or objects a lot. Like I like that. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that her and her brother. You could tell like what animals they were based around. Like she's kind of like a jellyfish, but she also has like octopus tentacles. And she had one funny one I noticed is her. I wish I could remember her name. I'll just put like Admirabilis. Like her like hair, her bangs are like little like these Carly things, but those are like based on those. I assume they're based on those seahorses that disguise themselves as seaweed. You know the ones.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen those? Like the dragon.
I don't know.
Dragon seahorses. I think they're called dragon. These ones.
I don't.
Leafy.
Hold on.
Sea dragons. These things. Like that was the same shape of her. I mean, technically, I guess you could say the shape is just seaweed because that's what these are trying to look like. But that's what her hair looked like. So I was like, that's cool. Yeah, I have people in my zeal kind of based around anemones and based around insects and stuff. And I also enjoy I also put gem stuff in mine because the idea for the glums is they're in different containers made out of different kinds of like gem or mineral.
No way!
Yeah, that's
Lord
true.
Rob.
I even use the word, various chapter titles later have the word calx in them because there's a series of Aphex Twin songs called Different Colored Calx. And calx is like a disproven sort of alchemic idea for like a made up mineral that doesn't actually exist. It's kind of like the humor is like a thing that has been disproven
like
by science. Yeah, I forget. Yeah, calx is like a mystery mineral. I think now there is a thing for it called calx that is a thing, but originally, like the original meaning for it is something that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, now it's just understood to be some oxide, but people thought it was like a different mineral. Anyway, enough about me. I like her design a lot. Her brother is kind of awkward looking, honestly. Like it's cool that he's like a squid guy. Yeah, his leg. I don't like these like silly leg things. This was like it was reminding me of a bit more like this is closer to sort of like something you'd see in like Steven Universe, which is fitting because it also has like gems in it.
Reminds me of reminds me a little bit of the really trashy elf guy when Marcel in the Wizards and Dungeons.
I mean, he's kind of a jerk. Again, I think he looks a bit better in the anime. He's kind of a jerk too. He just shows up and is like, "I am the greatest. Oh, you're looking ravishing." And she's like, "Man, you just think about eating and shit." And I just like sacrificed my friend to save you. But he was nice enough to give her some legs, so all's well that ends well. It is kind of he's kind of a dick too because he like slices her face off just like haphazardly and doesn't even like apologize. He's just like whatever. Yeah. I'm just like a super.
It was also kind of weird how they suddenly just they just change their mind with very little prompting.
I mean,
there's a lot of flip flopping.
That was one of my favorites. Dialogue scenes though was Foss just being like, "That's unfair. How can I be angry at you now when I found out like what the tragic backstory was?" She's like, "I forgive you." And she's like, "I'm kind of a useless loser anyway. So if you need to use me to accomplish something, go ahead, because I suck." I was like, "That's interesting."
Yeah. Also minor point: the manga has no OP.
What?
I didn't. The manga has no.
Yeah,
obviously.
And the OP is pretty iconic.
What are you talking about? Mangas don't have any openings. They're not animated.
Yeah. I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying. That he likes that the anime has an OP.
Jaws gets it.
Doesn't happen.
Oh, you're trying to say like the anime is better because it has a good. It is a good opening. I'm
just saying I do like the opening.
I
don't even know if I like it. I just find myself watching it sometimes.
Yeah, I like that effect a lot when just before she cracks into a lot of pieces where like the background changes into like a green gem thing. The way it does it always catches my eye because it happens always unexpected. I always try and like I'd be like, now it's gonna do it now, and then it always does it a second later. I'm like, damn it. I'm just talking crazy shit. Yeah. And
we're almost done with this one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a more interesting one to like talk about like the world building and how it looks and feels really cool, but there's not really much to say about the story so far. We just had Foss kind of bumble around.
Subtly depressed gems.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like sad rock lesbians. It's like cool. Yeah, but yeah, I'm intrigued. I mean, I was gung ho I had to stop myself reading the whole thing in one go, honestly, because I've been like on a manga kick, and I was like 100 chapters. That's so short. And I read 10 really quickly, and I was like I'm 10% of the way.
A little bit longer than the average chapter.
They're longer, but also there's long stretches of like not much dialogue, and you can like go through it quickly enough. Yeah.
To future success.
My headphones are warning me that they are low on battery, so I'm gonna change them. As I change them, we should talk about to your eternity. Chapter 110 or 111?
I think it was 95 to 115.
Yeah, 95 to 116.
Was it? Oh, geez, I'm crazy. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, the knockers. You talk about them while I switch headphones.
Knockers. The knockers are attacking.
Yeah, the Tommy knockers. This was a very, very, very intense section of manga.
Yeah.
A lot went on.
Yeah, it's less so that a lot went on. Actually, no, that's not true. A lot went on, but much of it is sort of the same thing over and over again.
I mean, it was a lot of action. It was a lot of progressing and resolving the conflict that had already been established. So
it's a somewhat slow escalation of just the battle going on.
I think it does.
I normally am the person who complains about that, but I will say in this circumstance, they earned it. You know, they went. They built this up for a very, very long time before they got there.
I think it also does it well because it introduces like little new elements to the dynamic of the fight every chapter, basically. Where it's like the situation keeps changing very slightly. Where it's like initially they're just getting pelted with rocks, and Fushi is like, "I'll take care of those like catapult trebuchet things." Then we start getting like problems with like overexertion. And like the knockers start kind of infiltrating through different spots. They like put themselves they poison the water. They start launching themselves within the like the stones, which is just fucking terrifying. Like
I'm wondering if they did that from the start.
I think they must have. I think the very first one must have had that. But I mean, like story wise, you only find that out after a bit. What I mean is like the story keeps like presenting like here's a new problem and here's another one and here's another one, and then Fushi loses consciousness and like the situation keeps getting like worse and worse for a bit. So it's fascinating, and like the knocker thing is really scary too, because it's just like as soon as someone gets a knocker, they need to start killing them, or else it's going to be like an infestation from within, and it becomes like a battle of attrition where they have to see how long they can like survive, and their water is cut off, and it's much more complex than like I was expecting it to be. Like I thought it was going to be kind of like a straightforward knocker fight, but it turns into this like complex logistics tactical thing.
This is one of the most conceptual and in a way one of the most realistic, although it's weird to use that word,
I know
fight scenes I've ever seen. It really felt like a battle scene, you know,
it felt like
not a bunch of people just acting crazy. It felt like legitimate, you know, fight for survival.
Yeah. It's fucked up that like it's like all this fighting, and by the end of it the king and his daughter are just dead. Like the thing is just like thrown into disarray anyway.
It's interesting that Fushi resurrects almost like everyone who died, but we don't know how many of the people the souls.
This is the section where we find out that what the deal was resurrection wise is that the spirit has to linger in order to go into a new body. So if someone just shoots off to heaven, you can't bring them back. But well, the big thing in the big elephant in the room, though, is or not the big elephant, but the big obvious thing is people are coming back. After 100 fucking chapters, she really held that back as long as she could. But yeah, March is alive. After all this time, everyone is alive, but March.
Beardy man is here.
It's funny how you're as soon as exactly that's what I was telling Green to. As soon as March shows up, you're like, oh my god, I can't wait for Fushi to finally see March, but they like hold it off because they're like they're looking for each other, and there's a point where when Fushi discovers that people can come back and because Bon has kept the secret from him. He tries to make March, but she doesn't come back to life, and he thinks that's because it won't work on her, but it's actually just because she's already alive, so there's no soul to run into it. Like, that's really a funny, like, little moment of
this manga continues to just be so original, where it's brushing up against every trope and, moral and theme I have seen with anything to do with immortality and resurrection and the afterlife, but it's not quite hitting them, and I don't know where the fuck they're going with this.
It's a weird like dynamic to be in, where the only person who doesn't know about the resurrection is Fushi. So like the guy's all he comes out of the he passes out, so all the defenses kind of go down, and then when he comes to, he's like, oh god, how long was I out for? And then he just finds I always forget his name, but the guy who doesn't feel pain, he finds his fucking dentures like on the ground, and Bond's like, oh, everyone died. And it's like, oh shit. And he's like having this like convulsions, like, not again, oh god, again, the knockers have killed my friends. And then they just show up again like, hey, we're immortal. And like Bond knew, they knew, the audience knew, everyone knew except for Fushi, and he's just like, what the fuck? After hundreds of years.
It's interesting that they tried to trick him by just doing the cheat of, it's just these three people are immortal if you bring them back to life, but don't think about it that way.
Yeah, like, well, Bond is so like clever about just like, he understands that Fushi is like too much of an idiot and too irresponsible to like be given too much information all at once, and he never really does quite the right choice. Like, he'll try and do something where it's like in everyone's self-interest, but he ends up like trying to do too much or not focusing on the right thing. So Bond is really good at just like dripping the right info to Fushi, and at this point, he doesn't need to be thinking about the ramifications about like what it means to revive everyone. He just needs to be thinking about the fact that he doesn't have to worry. He has 3 people who can't die, and that leads to what might be one of the most incredible like action sequences of all time. I love them just running around fighting knockers and then shooting themselves. It's the fucking most amazing thing. It's just so like dark and twisted, but at the same time like awesome and badass. The guy just like, my work is done here, turns rifle on himself and shoots himself in the head, and then it's like,
then Fushi in his base form kills one of them to teleport them, forgetting that not everyone knows about this. And a like random bystander flips out.
Yes, or the first time they do it, it's like Fushi is like standing there in horror, covered in their blood, and like the Robin Bastard is just like, do me next, right in the face, do me next. And like, okay, blast him with a gun, and like Fushi is showered in their viscera, and he's like, I'm still not quite comfortable with this. And they're just like, and you keep a part of you in the back of your mind is like worried that something is gonna go wrong, like there's gonna be like enough times that they get killed, they don't come back, or one of the times their soul goes away or something, and you're just like, such a fucking bizarre like dynamic to witness, where it's like have all these guys murder themselves to zip around town. So weird. Gosh, yeah, it's really become a very different manga than where we started. Now we have like Fushi being a city and zipping around, and immortal warriors and revivals, and
I mean,
it's turned into like Gantz or something. I don't know.
Probably not Gantz. I think I kind of like Fushi as getting further away from humanity again. I don't like it as much as him becoming human.
Well, yeah. I mean, Fushi, as much as he might try, he can never be truly human just because he can't die.
Yeah, sure.
Like that's like what keeps him, and also like he's psychologically very weird just because he's gone through the way he's like, his consciousness has become much less centralized, and he's lived all these things. So he's interesting as like an experiment. You're almost viewing him how the Man in Black is, where you're just like, seeing how in some ways he resembles people in so many ways, but you also don't know how much of that is the effect of the bodies he's taking in, and all these complications.
In terms of progress through the middle of the fight, other than Fushi slowly catching on to he's bringing people back to life, I guess the other thing is Kahaku continually getting into trouble, doing weird stuff. Eventually people get so suspicious of him that they're bounding and gagging him and beating him up, and Fushi and Bond both try to get involved at different points. He was kind of a really cursed character when you think about it. That was never going to work out.
Since the Knocker started writing, we've had like suspicions about it, because there was like that earlier part where like the knocker doesn't warn them about an attack, and then the knocker's like, oh, they lied to me, they tricked me, and you're like, did they really, or are you just a traitor? And then here it just becomes increasingly obvious that the knocker has always been like a skeevy piece of shit, and it also becomes, and now you're questioning like whether Kohaku has been in cahoots with the knocker the whole time, because he keeps like murdering people and then going, oh, it was the knocker that did it. And you're like, was it the knocker that did it? Because I don't know if
but I mean, we see with this end that he does like Fushi.
He does, but that doesn't mean the other stuff. Like when he just murders Kai and escapes from the chair, is that the knocker trying to survive, or is that Kohaku just being like, here's a chance to murder him? And after a bit, he doesn't.
In this case, it was like Kohaku allowing the knocker to save him, and then later we have the scene where he actually does kill all three of them.
He just kills them all in the kitchen. That's such an uncomfortable scene. He's like Fushi needs Fushi needs a rest. Let's all have some food. And he's like covered in blood. Then he goes upstairs and he's just being a dickhead to everyone. He's just like, he calls Iddy like a pet. He's being like, yeah, too bad you couldn't defend the princess there, Robin. That must suck, huh? And you're just like, yeah, you let all those people get murdered, huh? Why don't you try harder? Like, Fushi's trying hard. Why don't you guys do some work? And it's like, we've been killed 50 billion times, and we've been running for 3 days straight, like, defending everyone, and you're being an asshole. That they're just like, they get angry at him, and he just murders them, and comes downstairs covered in blood. Is like, oh, yeah, listen, kind of an awkward situation, but I may have had to slaughter everyone violently with a kitchen knife. Just one of those things. Can you bring them back? And then we get the what all the gross, weird, like Kohaku stuff has been building up to, which is just that scene where Fushi just says like, I want relief. That's like, Kohaku's like, now's my chance. I'm gonna fuck Fushi. There was a moment there
because Fushi seems so miserable and so tired.
Yep.
I really, for a second, I really thought Kohaku was gonna successfully seduce him.
It seemed like it. I mean, yeah, but then, I mean, we don't know what would have happened without the knocker. Like, maybe Kohaku really just did want to give him some smooches and cradle him, but yeah, then we get those.
I totally thought that Kohaku was being sincere. I don't think Kohaku had a clue the knocker was going to flip out like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's horrified, like when the knocker just killing Fushi over and over.
Well, but he might think, I'm not saying I think he wanted to either, but I think part of his willingness to work with the knocker a lot is that the knocker, he doesn't think the knocker necessarily wants to kill Fushi. He just thinks the knocker wants to kind of like control Fushi or make him a part of them in that way. Like, I don't know, like it kind of goes back to like how, remember how Hayase wanted to be like killed by Fushi and become his form almost? There's weird wanting...
I think the clan is kind of delusional about the knocker, and they have no clue what it really is at this point.
Yeah, and they don't know what they want to do with Fushi either, because like some of them want just to like almost like be in love with Fushi and have his children, but others want like almost like control him and cage him up, and others want to like become a part of Fushi. They're just like the creepily obsessed with Fushi, and they just can't get the fuck over it. And it's very strange. And then fucking all of his forms get stolen, and he turns into a fucking orb again. And then March shows up, and she's like, "Mommy's here." Oh man, it's so messed up.
March was interesting because on one hand, it's strange that she was so proactive in the story and seemed so informed and capable. But then you think about it, she's been hovering over his shoulder for 100 years.
She's seen everything we've seen.
Yeah, she's emotionally still a kid, but in terms of her understanding of the world, like she's like an old lady at the same time.
She's weirdly forgiving of Kohaku, given that she essentially understands that he is the descendant of the person who killed her and her like surrogate sister, and is like this horrible person, but she's just like
kind of fucked up. The Perona doesn't come back at the end when
Perona like, just isn't one of the souls that's been hanging around,
and Gugu shows up and he just obliterates the Perona form with his fire.
Well, that just means it flies back into Fushi, I think, right? Or does
like he can turn into.
I think
he
so. Regains the memory. We see the memory filling out again. That's right.
I mean, we're getting there, and it's probably going to be the main thing to talk about. But I do definitely have my issues with how the resurrection party at the end was handled.
Why?
Do you, or maybe you disagree?
I don't have a problem with it as long as the souls are lingering. I'm happy. I would be more annoyed if Fushi didn't give everyone a. Oh, you mean like everyone in the town? Oh, right.
No. I really mean all his previous forms. March and Gugu and all those.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
It just. I don't have an issue with it in general. I think the mixed emotions that people are having is a lot more interesting than what would normally happen. Would either be people being like, oh, you've got to let us go, or oh, this is just great with no consequence. I think it being complicated but they're still doing it is interesting. It's just some of the details, like when you squint at the situation, you're just like, okay, so Gugu came back. The last moment Gugu was alive, he was doing a push-up holding a ton of bricks off of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then he was crushed to death. And then it's like, oh, the happy ending for Gugu is he hung out and helped the troops for a few years, and then he died of an infection. What you gonna do? And I was just thinking, did the topic of bringing Rin back not even come up?
He can't bring Rin back. Like, he can't bring anyone... Anyone who was not kind of like hanging around him as like ghosts that Bond could see, none of them can come back.
Was it Rin there in one of the earlier scenes?
No, he just turns into her. Whenever only the characters who got like those weird epilogues where they kind of like saw themselves as a ghost, and remember how like Gugu saw March and stuff like that.
I was sure that one time Rin showed up. When
Bond, it's only like the
Bond
main.
Wakes up after the execution, wasn't Rin there?
No, he turns into her. Yeah, he's turned into her. You're confusing.
Wait, so that was Fushi.
That was Fushi. Yeah, that was Fushi just sitting. That wasn't a dream. He just wakes up and he thought he died, but then he goes downstairs and Rian is eating with a Pakoa and the slim version of Bond's wife. No, like anyone who has traveled on to heaven. Remember that Rian died far away from Fushi. She didn't even die with him. She like lived many years after Gugu died, and just died peacefully at some point. He can turn into their form when they die, but that doesn't affect whether their soul is
now that's I was confused because I remembered seeing Rin once and thought that was one of the ghosts.
This will come up more where it's like Fushi will be frustrated at points that he can't bring certain people back. Like he can essentially just bring whoever was like the main person from each arc and kind of like decided to hang around Fushi after his death. That's the only people he can bring back. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
I was a little perturbed. I will say, if nothing else, I was a little weirded out that nobody even seemed that interested. Like, I feel like there should have just been more arguments / explanations at the end about why some people can come back and some people can't.
Yeah, you'll get more of this.
Okay.
Reeling back a bit, how cute is it when Iddy cuts her hair and puts a little helmet on?
I mean, I'm surprised that she actually seems to be.
Yeah, she seems to be pretty good, didn't he? Yeah, she like stabs a knocker with a sword. Yeah, man, I was so worried about her later because fucking the knocker gets into her arm. She tries to kill herself. It's funny how often people try and leap off of things and their knocker arm goes nope. That keeps happening. It's a kind of weird, something weirdly comical about like trying to kill yourself and just your arm being like nope all the time.
Well, and then she dies anyway.
Well, yeah, but everyone has to die sometime. Yeah. It's
no one's ever really.
What did you think of like Kahaku's big stand where he has like a weird like. He goes and fights his own knocker and then like
I like it.
Yeah, coaxes it back into himself.
I like that he gets a moment of being proactive. He got some nice.
He got like somewhat of a redemption. It was nice of him to single-handedly blow up the church. Yeah,
he had a very screwed life basically from the beginning. Also, there was
also a nice little parallel almost. But when he slices his arm, it's again like in front of the same person that Bond said I love Fushi before he was gonna die, like and Kaku does the same as he lets himself drop into boiling iron. He also goes, I love Fushi. Like that's all that priest guy keeps seeing is people saying I love Fushi and suiciding. But this time he exploded.
I mean, yeah, we haven't even mentioned like Bon once again is the MVP.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
Yeah, he had a lot of faith that killing himself on top of Fushi's ball would. Yeah,
I mean, it's probably what makes like the most sense out of anything you could like come up with for like how to
fix this.
Yeah, how
and then
to
at the
try
end
and
he
give an
says, "Oh
experience
yeah,
to a ball.
don't bring me back to life. You know, just stay in my body for a while. It's obviously the strongest one." And
he's got a point because he can see spirits.
It is
yeah.
Like Fushi basically becomes a god for a little bit when he's in Bon's body.
Yeah, it's a really good connection of powers to be able to bring people to life, be immortal, and be able to see the spirits of everyone. Is a really clever workaround of it. Like,
yeah,
it's really cool. It's cool that works. That means that the ability to see ghosts is not part of Bond's soul; it's part of his body. Like it's an aspect of his physicality, which is interesting. Yeah. So there's some people have bodies that are physically prone to seeing ghosts.
Well, Johnny Cash did say, you know, sometimes defectives like you are just born, which implies some kind of
you're calling the Men in
mutation.
Black Johnny Cash.
Were we not doing that?
I didn't. I never called him that.
I don't know where you got that from.
I think he's making
like many times
joke. No.
Okay.
Anywho, yeah, that's right. Here, there's defectives that are born like that sometimes.
Yeah.
What else happens? The bear shows back. It's funny that out of all the people that could be back, the bear is one of Fushi's like the bear's ghost has stuck around Fushi for all these years just because.
And the ghost cares so much. He wants to help.
I mean, yeah.
The one part that I found like a little bit confusing is at the end with March and with the laser drug. Like I'm not % sure what was going on there.
They explain it a bit later, but essentially, March just decided she didn't want to like do anything else but spend time next to Fushi, so she asks to be killed.
Okay, I mean, like there's like no thing that says that she asked for it.
No, they say that's because she's saving that for later, for someone to tell Fushi what happened to March after he went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did feel a little awkward that everyone just like has adventures for a few years on their own and then dies, and then Fushi just I guess we're just jumping to the next part of the story. It's like there's a girl in a sailor uniform at the very end.
Well,
like 600 years
that's what's happening.
If she is a descendant of Hayase's clan, I am going to flip a bitch.
Why would you say that? Just because her face looks exactly like all of their other faces, and she's called Mizuha
for 500 years. Now that they don't even have the knocker.
Well.
We'll see.
You'll see. I'm not gonna say anything.
You better not.
I hope you're excited for where the story is going.
I have no idea. Is it ever this good again? Is this like the high point?
No. I like how it's 200.
Do we have total like 220 or something?
No, it's like 200 it's like 201.
Okay, so we are.
But they do have like part chapters later, so it gets confusing, the numbering. Like some volumes are just like technically 3 chapters, but it's like part 1, 2, 3 or whatever, so it's a bit tricky to say. I'm going to say, Green, in regards to your question, my favorite part is coming up still. Like
oh my god,
my favorite section, my favorite 2 volumes are in the next section of the story. The story is like in 3 parts. It's like the kind of old age, that's the one we've just read, like everything that happened with Fushi and everything from him appearing to like this medieval battle at the end. That's like part 1. Then part 2 takes place in a different time period. I guess you
it's
can
like
guess.
20th or 21st century?
21st.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 21st.
Does Fushi have a smartphone?
Century, and then the 3rd section takes place in another time. Yeah. Fushi does have a smartphone.
God damn it. I hate this.
One of the first things he does is he drinks bubble tea, which is very funny.
Oh no.
He's like, how do they do the bubbles? No, this is like my favorite stuff is Fushi in the 21st century. I know, amazingly. There's better still to come. You're gonna know exactly when it happens. Like a character is gonna show up, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, how could she do this?"
God damn it! He's gonna bring back March, and she's gonna go to elementary school in the 21st century.
Yeah. What you don't want? That's what I find the funniest about this is that all Japanese media properties must converge back on high school. Like that's what becomes that's like the funniest thing to me.
My God.
Well, I don't have much to say about it as a whole. I have like little moments that I remember. It's funny that this girl here knocks on a wall randomly and Fushi old man shows up and like, what? And she's like, no, it's not on a wall. She's like, God damn it, I'm busy. And then she gives her the doll.
Yeah.
There's like lots of little cute touches
he thought
like that.
she was a knocker, huh?
Yeah. I see. But yeah, I hope you're excited. Bon is the MVP and let's go to high school, everyone. Nothing like modern day Japan to make a story. Yeah, exactly. The real fantasy setting. Okay.
The true fantasy, someone being happy in modern day Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's do this shit.
Yes. Spirit Circle.
Man.
It's
Jaws?
Mizukami. Jaws was saying earlier that he hated this manga.
No, he said he hated you.
Oh, okay.
What I actually said is that I had the opposite reaction of that Michi had when he was reading Joseph and the Biscuit Hammer to begin.
You had a really good opinion that slowly degraded into bullshit.
No, like I fucked up when I said the opposite reaction. I had the same reaction. Michi said that he thought the beginning of Spirit Circle is way better than the one of Biscuit Hammer, and I feel like the other way around. Like specifically, Michi also noted this that he does not use like screen tones very early on, so everything looks really
I agree. I understand what Jaws was saying earlier, that he thought the artwork was worse, and I was saying I think he's gotten better at drawing everything. It's just that that first chapter feels very like stark black and white, where it's like everyone is almost just like the line work, and then black colored in hairs is all the black you see. But I think he gets more further in. He gets like
get better as he goes along.
You get like cool like brush effects and what he has gotten better at is just general consistency. There's not many like panels where you just look at it and you're like, oh, that's a jank looking panel. He's gotten much better at the anatomy and faces, and he's gotten better at boobs and panty shots, though there is only one. And then
kind of funny, you said
you get more exciting like two spread pages and compositions and stuff.
He does a little more with just little directing.
Feels more
things.
like manga.
I mean, earlier you sent me an image of the first girl from the first flashback lying on the altar, saying, "Oh my God, he finally learned how to draw a boob." And he used screen tones to draw her, so his attempt to draw brown women pulled him into screen tones.
I think me and Jaws are talking more about like screen tones as used for like shading and for style rather than just for a dark-skinned person. Yeah, obviously those you always are going to use screen tones, but not a lot of effects work. In the first chapter looks kind of like flat. I agree with Jaws.
Yeah, it almost feels like it was rushed for them.
He gets into like the more expressive stuff faster here than he did with Biscuit Hammer, and compositions and stuff. I think I'm gonna have. Why is it with Mizukami stuff you can never find like good images through Google search?
Popular.
He's pretty popular. I think Spirit Circle is more popular than Pure Eternity.
I forgot for what reason I checked like the popularity of some, or rather the rankings of some manga for this. And no, I like Spirit Circle is further down than to you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
maybe times have changed, and am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
What I was checking was the ranking for Land of the Lustrous, which is at 15, which is
it's a very popular one, isn't it? Yeah, I saw the ratings for both. The anime too is really, really well regarded. I was like happy about that. I mean, I like the anime a lot too. So
and that didn't even get to the cool parts yet.
But like,
yeah, back to Spirit Circle.
Yeah, like I get what John's saying. Like these pages look very like almost like stamped, like very very flat.
The ones you just showed were fine, but like the very early ones, like
the ones I was further ahead
school stuff where he doesn't focus on the background because they are bored.
Yeah, I think that's part of the setting is the problem here, where he's just like drawing high school, so he's just being like very like lackluster, where he's just being like, well, this is just a normal Japanese high school, so I'm just not going to give any any pizzazz or styling here. Like there's almost no shading. It's just like flat.
It just feels more commercialized and less ambitious.
Kinda, yeah. I get what you're saying.
And one thing I also noticed in Biscuit Hammer, he seemed to really like to use vertical panels.
Yeah,
and he does way less here.
You're right. He also does a lot of. I noticed something also he does a lot is repeat panels. Where he has a lot of like not exact carbon copy, but he'll have a lot of like one panel and then the panel next to it is almost the same, but like here, like he hides his face, or here he has just the same composition for him explaining every one of his classmates, and later he does a lot of like parallel the same panel over and over, and he uses a lot more panels than he did in Biscuit Hammer too. Like he uses a lot of really tiny panels over and over again.
Yeah, then, like everything is smaller. Like he shows everything from a greater distance, or much of it.
He has more like pages like this though, that look better than like Biscuit Hammer ones, I think, or this. Like here, the action is conveyed much better than like early action scenes in Biscuit Hammer, I think. Or like here you get like really cool angles and the anatomy is a lot better. Like this looks more stylish, I think, which is cool. He's also gotten better at the backgrounds. Like you see it more in like the medieval chapters, but even here in the like Aztec really, chapter or whatever, really you see like these trees are real nice. Maybe he just has a very good assistant, I don't know.
It feels like maybe the most significant thing is he just makes less mistakes now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you don't see as many.
There's just less things you look at. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there was a single drawing in here where I looked at and I was just like, haha.
Exactly.
No, where in Biscuit Hammer we were pointing out, hands that look like Legos
chin.
and shit like that.
Yeah. One thing I also enjoy about this manga more than Biscuit Hammer is it's just like darker. Like it's more. It's more like violent and bloody, and there's also like it feels more like adult. There's like more nipples and stuff.
I felt the opposite. Like
really?
It felt like
I don't think in Biscuit Hammer anyone ever gets bloodily decapitated and you see their fucking heads splatter across the page.
But like Biscuit Hammer felt like trying to do a non-serious topic seriously, and this feels like trying to do a serious topic less seriously. Like that's
I don't get that at all. I feel like it's more mature. Like there's heart removals. There's fucking when he stabs the witch. That's like a very that's like a very like you don't see like they didn't linger that much on like wounds. And in Biscuit Hammer, someone get like stabbed and they bleed from the mouth and they die. Here you get like the witch getting like traversed with a fucking sword, and they're both like screaming and panting, and she's putting a fucking hot iron on his face. And I was like, this is pretty fucking seinen, honestly.
Well, I think
like the depiction just feels juvenile to me.
I mean, his style is always kind of cartoony and round-faced. I think that might be it.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
Okay.
I think that a lot of it has to do with tone, where in Biscuit Hammer, part of the tone and part of the appeal and, the humor and the entertainment is having this incongruous reaction where very heavy things are treated with light hands, and very simple things are taken very seriously. Characters having reactions to things that don't totally make sense emotionally, and that lead to humor and clashes between characters. That was a big part of Spirit Circle, Biscuit Hammer. I think Spirit Circle is much more sincere in that the intended sensible tone for an event usually matches the character's reactions to it more. When it's still bittersweet, but when something sad is happening, people will just be sad. There's not a character being very blithe and humorous about the whole thing, subverting it.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. There's just more consistent. Everyone's on the same page emotionally in this, as opposed to just having fucking schizo weirdos was part of Biscuit Hammer.
Yeah, that's true. One funny thing I noticed, speaking of like parallels between our manga, it happened in Pun Pun, it happened in Biscuit Hammer, and now it's happening again. just having the protagonist is always pining after the wrong girl. This guy is such a dipshit. He has this really cute art girl who's got long legs, and she's obviously into him and worried about him all the time. She's like, I'll kiss it better. And he's this fucking numbskull just fucking sits here and is like, I'm gonna go after the girl who literally wants to kill me. What is it with
to
men?
be fair, I'm not saying going after her.
Yes, he is. He says he's in love with her, and he tries to like wrangle her into doing stuff with him after school and wants her to be friends with him. He definitely wants this one, and he doesn't even realize that the other girl likes him when everyone else obviously does. Like, such a dumbass. I mean, I'm not saying it's not unrealistic. It's totally realistic. Like, yeah,
it's still very subtle at this stage. I think it's fine.
I mean,
I noticed it in multiple scenes. She's the one who comes to see him to the hospital and is like crying over it. She says she'll kiss him better, and then later she is like, want to go do something at the art club? And he's like, no, I'm gonna like kind of blow you off to go and meet with the other girl. And she looks very like disconcerted about it. She's like, what? No way. I think maybe Green, you just didn't notice. Yeah,
maybe I did. I will say I corroborate his fascination. Oh, it is crazy that the priest is just naked under the tabard.
The priest is naked. The girl is naked on the altar. When they go through the back in time, Rune has her boobies out with full nipples. Like he's taken no prisoners. He just wants to draw naked people all the time.
Yeah, I do share the author's consternation for the increasing prevalence of Spanx. It's not even
the gym shorts. He's so disappointed. That's so annoying too, because you think
if you see a girl in a skirt like trip or fall over something, it's not even worth looking now because there's not going to be anything.
I do think it's funny that like he kind of is trolling the reader, because if you come to this from Biscuit Hammer, which had constant panty shots, and then the guy's like, I can see up your skirt, and she's literally just like, enjoy it. It'll be the last thing. You're like, oh, here it comes, the Mizukami panty shots, and then it's gym shorts, and you're like, why did you do this to me? Yeah.
Honestly, handling of the handling of the fan service kind of matches what I said about the emotions, because he doesn't try to have a bunch of fanfare and be like, oh, a panty shot's coming, get ready, guys.
Yeah, except he's weirdly
joke. But he'll just have nudity now. Like it's more
intense,
he's
like
but also
inconsistent.
Just more mature and more normal.
Exactly, like seeing boobs with nipples, it doesn't feel as like raunchy because it's just presented almost like it's like artistic, so it's just like, oh yeah, it's just a woman with her chest out, but it's not like in a context where it's erotic. Whereas seeing constant panty shots was like, whoa, that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, and here he shows like one panty shot when Rune tumbles over on the guy, which I take issue with, by the way, because she falls on him and she's got these panties here. These are clearly elasticated modern panties. What the fuck is going on? She should have like a loincloth.
Isn't she from the future?
No, she's not. I know where she's from. And it's not from the future. It's like from a weird like ancient civilization. Right, Green? I'm not crazy. She's not from the future.
Well, let's not yell the plot of the story.
I haven't said
quite yet.
What? Oh, I don't think it makes a difference what time it's from. We know it's from a different time. I think they're from a Atlantean weird civilization. I think.
Well, sure, whatever. But I will say, given the capability and power level of other people in the story, it's plausible she had modern panties before other people did. Who knows?
That's true. She could have gotten modern panties some other way. Okay, fine. Also, again, funny that Mizukami always puts the same archetypes in all of his stories. Like it's not even. I'm not saying personality-wise. I'm saying he always has to have the magical girl that lives in the protagonist's house. Like we had Anima in the last one, and in Planet With, there's the chick that comes along with weird cat alien who just lives in their house, and they always kind of look similar. It's very funny.
I mean, she just is East or not East. This.
Yeah,
whatever her fucking name is.
Her name is Rune.
Rune, she just is Rune. Yeah. Has to have the bitchy, well, not necessarily bitchy, but has to have the morally complicated, somewhat antagonistic, girl who goes to school with you and is eventually going to end up with the main character. Always has to have older people kind of being mentors. It is funny that it's almost a meta thing. I don't think it's intentional, but like the whole shtick of this is, it's the same type of people being reincarnated over and over and over again.
It goes to like a funny extent where early on you think it's just going to be a story of their, like, oh, isn't it strange that across time him and this girl have had some sort of relationship, but then you realize it's not just them, it's like his school friends. He also had like a past life with them. Even they didn't point it out, they didn't like dwell on it, but even the girls that come to Van's help when he knocks his head on a rock are his two schoolmates. And the guy,
okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, you might have missed it because they don't like zoom in on it or anything. And the guy, the Cielo or whatever, is also their teacher. Yeah. So it's almost like every single person in his life has just been a different person. Also, now that I'm looking, yeah, go on. Yeah.
I mean, talking about the actual flashbacks a little bit, it is funny that the end of Van's life, his only idea for what to do with his daughter is like, I know one person.
That's realistic medieval.
Alive.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, and she's like, "Is he handsome? Well, he's a nice man."
Yeah. There was still lots of like trademark Mizukami humor, just not as prevalent. Like Biscuit Hammer is almost like a comedy series in a weird way. This one is more like has them occasionally. I love one of the funnier aspects is his dad. Like, his dad is just, everything about him is really funny. It's just like, you need to name your power immediately. And then he's like, give me your power. And then he shows up with a little lizard from Biscuit Hammer. Nice cameo. And he's just being weird and being like, tell me if there's an ancient warrior. I sense it. It's like, just such a silly Mizukami comedy character. Yeah. Also, the stuff with Rune is pretty funny. Her just being like, I don't know, weirdly like into him. And she like blabs about him and his friends like perving on the girls in the class, and she has no idea what the fuck is going on. He keeps main girl keeps alluding to him like keeping his hands off of Rune, and he just blushes, and she's like, "What? Huh?" I mean, the funny thing is she wouldn't mind at all because she'd be like, "Master, yes, whatever, whatever pleases you." Yeah, the girls are cute. I like the girls. I was lamenting with Green the same way that Green was saying like it's sad that now there's the gym shorts and the spats and stuff. It's also sad that now this doesn't exist anymore in Japanese high schools. They have like I've seen like down to the knee like old 1920s swimming outfits now. Tragic. Soon Japanese kids will be reading manga like this and wondering like why are they in such revealing outfits at school?
I mean, the fucked up thing though, they will get new swimsuits eventually because the whole thing, like the whole reason Japanese schools keep changing their outfits is no matter what they do, whatever they standardize will become like a porn stereotype. Change it again. Like the whole reason bloomers went away is because parents got sick of seeing them in porn, so they said, "Okay, change something else."
It doesn't matter. Exactly.
And then the new swimsuit, same thing. Dude, we'll have a new one in 30 years.
The fucking backpack and the fucking like the pullable alarm have become fetishistic. Like there is nothing, it doesn't even have to be an item of clothing. It just has to be like any accessory that you put around that becomes a standard is going to become fetishized. So why the fuck even bother? Yeah. I don't know. Anyways,
it's unfortunate. We live in a broken world.
What do you think of like Coco as like or the main two as like characters? What do you think? Either of you?
I mean at this point it was like more interesting than character.
Yeah.
Like he at this point he does not feel like he himself is a character because the whole thing he has going on is mostly he's a nice guy and he does not know what's going on. Those are like the two things that are in his
honestly that is kind of the point because we're going through all his incarnations. The main character is supposed to be the neutral base point who is looking at all the other lives and judging them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Coco, I find her like, it's annoying to me because it's like, that's the point, is that she's like kind of immature without realizing it. But it has always annoyed me how she's like so kind of like high and mighty about like the things that his past has done, but she's always like bullshit about hers. It's like it's like the chapter very after this. She like gives him shit about Van killing her as a witch, but then when it comes up that she killed Ray, she's just like, oh, that was totally justified because those are like religious practices and stuff. It's like, fuck you. You fucking ripped his girlfriend's heart out and then chopped his head off, and you're being like, how did that piece of shit Van die? And it's like,
and how do we know the witch wasn't really causing problems?
Yeah, she's
sounds like something a witch would say.
Exactly. Yeah, Van shows up and is like, don't trust her, she's a filthy fucking witch. It is cool that he can see the ghosts of his past forms afterwards. That's like a neat touch. Again, very to eternity, I guess. Or the other way around. Also, I like the detail on this page that she doesn't have to hit him really hard with the spirit circle. She just enjoys doing it. Yeah. You have issues.
Yeah. Again, Mizukami having weird fixations. He just loves magical hoops.
He does. Yeah. You're right. He loves magic hoops. I like also.
Yeah, he probably had a crush on a girl with a hula hoop when he was a kid and never got over it.
That's also. It just Mizukami is always about the funny little cute details. Like I like that Rune just gets summoned from him saying her name. So whenever he says her name like randomly here, she's just like, "Yes, I'm here, me, master." He's like, "Shut up." There's always like goofy stuff like that. They have like funny banter about how she's like in the future like watching talk shows and doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And yeah, she kind of realizes that she's being a hypocrite. Like I get that, but I always find it like I'm always kind of on his side more because she's just being like mean. I know that's like the point of the story. Also, yeah, I'd forgotten that I guess Rune is like also an incarnation of Ray, because she seems to be like a version of the daughter, and the daughter was Ray. So I guess I had forgotten all about that.
I'm not sure if that.
I'm not.
I mean, maybe she's just wearing an outfit of her, but then who the fuck is she if she's not? Is she like a random ghost? Yeah, I don't remember.
I think one of the friends is meant to be Ray. Not that you're.
No,
not that
the
it's
friends
a guarantee.
Are the other two girls who show up in the night chapter? They're not Ray.
Well, okay, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe Ray is going to be someone else at some point. I don't totally remember.
I'm going to find the page, but the two friends show up in medieval times.
I do think Rune is a special entity, though. I don't think the normal rules apply to her.
Look over yonder. You see those two?
I will if you stop fucking spazzing out.
Those two girls.
Oh wait, I was lagging.
That's big boob judo girl, and that's tall art girl. See? And there's Ray right there, so they can't be Ray.
Okay, I mean, maybe it is Rune.
I'm not saying 100% she is Rune, I just think...
Odd.
Well, I think
she definitely wears
she wears her outfit, and she's like the most similar looking, so I don't know. Also, why does she say good morning, did you have lots of nice dreams in like a medieval font when he comes back? Is she teasing him? I don't know.
Probably. This also could just be early installment weirdness where Mizu hadn't quite figured out what he was going to do.
That's true.
Right. I found it kind of funny and a little bit annoying when we got the medieval speech. I mean, it makes sense, but it made it a little bit annoying.
Fuck her a little bit. The witch part was the very beginning of the story, and there was everything interesting in the story happened after that. She's making it all about herself. The dude had a very long life after the witch.
She didn't know anything about that. She doesn't know about what happened to Van after her incarnation died. Like, she doesn't have memories of that the same way he doesn't have memories of her incarnation.
It's just funny. I mean, it goes into her being immature. She just has a very narrow view. Like, she's only interested in the part of the story relevant to her.
That's kind of what... That's like... I think that's like the next chapter is like her being like, oh, I bet that piece of shit died horribly, didn't he? His worthless little life. And the guy's like, yeah, he hit his head on a rock and died. She's like, ha ha ha. But then he's like, but also he lived with friends for decades and had a daughter and died being loved. Sorry, he died happy. And she gets like angry and kicks him in the face and is like, damn it, no.
You're supposed to be the bad guy.
You're supposed to be the bad guy. People can't have complex lives that are more than just good or evil. That's just not how it works. That phone guy, he was bad because he tried to save his girlfriend with a knife. It's like, no, I think he was perfectly cool.
Yeah.
It's funny that everyone
like here. I like these pages a lot, like the brush pen. And,
I mean, this is like probably the best
and that's
image.
Yeah, that's like a nice detail too. That like the version of a phone like. he also had like lingering reincarnation memories of Phone in him as a medieval guy, and that's what makes him kind of be so violent against the witch. Like, I remembered this page really distinctly, like from when I thought of back on like Spirit Circle. This one stays with you. Yeah, the backgrounds look really nice in this part. That's kind of what the manga. The manga just gets like better and better looking. I mean, it never looks like incredible because it's a Mizukami manga, but it looks good.
So Jaws, why do you hate this again?
No, he didn't say that.
I already told.
What did you think of? There's not much to say about like the kind of like Aztec chapter.
Not that many chapters.
But I'm saying like in terms of like the memories he goes through. The medieval one is definitely like the meat of this section. What do you?
The one thing that's like I don't even know. That like annoys me a little bit is how the character always looks like younger than he is in this stretch. I don't know, just
like Van. Yeah, I mean he's not that. Yeah, it's weird. He doesn't do like old him very well. It's also it also doesn't, because he made every character in the medieval section blonde.
Yeah, he has to keep them more or less the same. I mean, I did not recognize the priest as the other guy, but
I did.
The sellsword I recognized immediately after.
No, I recognize that. What I was saying was Van. It doesn't. One of the easiest ways to like convey aging in manga is making the characters gray and then their hair turn white, but he made everyone in the medieval setting blonde anyway, so it doesn't feel that different. And he doesn't look I know he can do old guys, because like the guy's grandfather looked old in Biscuit Hammer. It's just here he doesn't give him many folds. He gives him like a bit of beard stubble and then like a bit of lines on his mouth, I guess. I mean, I guess he's not that old, but he's like in his 50s. I don't know.
He was pretty old back then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I do like that he dies. He opines about how he died the same way as his shitty brother. Like, he just died. I mean, it's a very standard medieval way to die. It's just like dumb bullshit. Like cut yourself on a thing and got gangrene and died. A horse kicked you in the head, fell over down to the well, died in a bar brawl. Like, these are all very common medieval ways of dying.
Frankly. As opposed to like Mesoamerican ways of dying, which is someone cuts your head off.
Someone chops your head off. Sacrifice. Someone rips your heart out because they have a not untrue belief. That's just something I have a bit of issue with. Not an issue with, but that is very strange that. In the like Mesoamerican one, the spirits keep telling him that there's nothing after, like, you just die, right? He keeps saying that, like, the spirits are just like, there's nothing. But then as he dies, the spirits are like, oh no, you'll come back, reincarnation. Like, so they themselves are like lying to him. And then we also get confirmation that
that's accurate. And I think like
just why were the spirits lying?
Super primitive cultures like that. The spirits are just guys. Like, they don't necessarily know what the fuck they're talking about.
But then they do. But they were doing it on purpose.
Well, it's not consistent. Like until the Jews, there was no expectation that gods are consistent.
Yeah, and when Ray dies, we
shit.
just see like a Abrahamic god in the clouds, just like in a thing, just pointing down and being like, "Go down there, spirit." So it's like, I don't know what the fuck the metaphysics are here. I don't know which god is real. I mean, I guess it wants to be like kind of like pan-religious thing, because the spirit circles have like the numbers are like all different cultures. They keep changing around like the symbols for the numbers, so it's like I guess it's just trying to be like all religions are kind of like one religion without knowing it, sort of thing. Maybe. Yeah, good page when he wakes up. I mean, it's kind of fucked up that he made him live like a whole life. It's like that Star Trek episode where Captain.
Your life. That's the fucked up thing.
I'm saying it made him in one.
When you put it
like,
that way,
he experienced an entire lifetime of dream. Like that's like when Picard goes in the weird, like he got stuck in like a weird simulation and he lives still as an old man and has a whole family and learns how to play the pan flute and then comes out of it and is like, oh god, my family's dead, but at least I know how to play an instrument now. I guess that's all we're allowed to talk about so far, but I hope he gets the girl.
Which one?
I mean, I wish he would get with the other one, but that's never happening, obviously. So that's always going to be the thing. If this manga had an amazing moment of him being like, I realize now that you were always the one who was there for me and who didn't want to kill me and hit me with a spirit circle, and also you're really cute. And you're the only girl taller than me who's actually willing to date me. And I'm a shrimp. Like, I think we should date. If it was like a Naruto realizing Hinata is the one kind of thing, I would be very happy, but I don't think that's happening.
Michi is getting sucked into the void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see the cover of the.
That's fine.
I mean, we're at the end.
Maybe he'll get reincarnated as someone with a fucking functional mic.
Shut up! I was just bumbling because my throat hurts for talking for 3 hours.
We have to go through 7 different lives listening to Michi have a different technical issue each time.
I hope you, in a drunken stupor, fall down a well and then are reincarnated as a fucking nerd, like in every life you have. Yeah.
I will, a nerd with a fucking microphone that works.
My microphone works! God damn it, I just don't always talk into
user
it.
Error.
Yes! I'm allowed to make errors. That's what makes me human and makes you a monster.
Michi's yelling into his doorknob, wondering why it's not working. That's how it
is. No, don't be funny. That means you've won.
Michi's yelling into a middle schooler's gym shorts.
Okay, fine. I lose and I'm stupid. Okay. I get it, okay?
Well, I mean, this has been going on for like 8 months, and you've shown very little interest in
It's not a problem with the mic. I've just become more tired and like mumbly and forget that I'm in a voice call after 10 hours. Fucking yeah, stupid.
I'm gonna glue an anime figure to the top of the mic. So we'll look at it.
Do you want to stop this and continue making fun of me after the stream?
Yeah, it could be good. Do we have anything to say? It's okay,
no,
I guess.
It's gonna get cooler. I understand that Jaws isn't as into it. I remember it picking up and just getting better and better and better till the end. I remember the ending being very good. So it has been a long time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will be me realizing I just don't like Mizukami that much and that by the end I'll agree with Jaws. Who knows?
Well, then we'll watch Planet Width again, which you did
like. I liked it, but also I didn't think it was amazing. So maybe I just never think he's amazing.
Yeah. Also, this is even more than Biscuit Hammer. Like you have to keep going because the little in jokes and it building upon earlier parts is like the whole fucking point.
They keep mentioning stuff that you're only going to get a payoff to way later.
Even more than Biscuit Hammer, this is like watching someone pour a slab of concrete and be like, "What a shitty house this is." Just wait a while.
That's true.
I'm also surprised that it's even shorter. Biscuit Hammer.
Yeah, I'd forgotten how short it was too.
At how short it was.
Yeah,
it's like 40 chapters.
In my mind, it was like 20 volumes, but it's like 10 volumes. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like which is funny because that's probably the length of the good part of Biscuit Hammer. He just learned how to cut out the bad shit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I agree with that. I was happy that it's short because I was like, I don't want to spend like hundreds of chapters on Mizukami manga, so I'm like...
Man, I just keep putting up delightful manga that are reasonable length.
Well, this one's like cheating. Damn. This one is like a +1 to my stuff, more than it is one of yours.
How dare you?
That's just because To Eternity is long, even though we're past the halfway point, so I'm happy. We're making progress. Well, I've already decided which manga to do next anyway, so perfect.
Okay.
What one?
I'm not telling you what it is.
Why not?
Keep your secrets.
Because I'm the secretive man.
Okay. Well, I guess we should call it.
Yeah, let's do
it. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, viewers. Michi.
Bye, VHS crust.